Hello, and welcome back to Literally Heinous. It feels so good to even say that. It's been really fucking crazy. So basically, I moved to New York. Um, I moved, okay, so I've been in New York for like 21 days, 3 weeks. I moved in December 2nd to the apartment. So a lot of updates, and I feel so bad I haven't even like posted an episode in a really long time. I've been wanting to, but I just have not even had a chance to sit down and do anything at all. So let me update you on like the situation, where I'm living, and then we'll go back in time and like how I got here, how we found the apartment, and all that. So I moved into my apartment December 2nd. So Jack and I are living together. This is not new because a few episodes ago I talked about how I moved into Jack's studio. Um, so my living situation has been really crazy for the past like 6 months. So starting in June, um, no, I moved out of my place with Zoe in Detroit in July because my landlord passed away really unexpectedly. Still had no idea what happened. So then I moved into Jack's studio, and that was the first time that we were living together, sharing a studio. And it was really hard. It was not great, but we honestly did fine. Like the first few weeks were hard, not like the space sharing was hard, but it was more like the emotional aspect of living together that was stressing me out and like not living in my own space. And then Jack and I moved to Brooklyn December 2nd. So it was nice to have like a little pregame living together situation and like really being so close together, like sharing a studio was really tight quarters. So it was a good prep for moving to New York. But our apartment is incredible. Like, I'm so happy. I love the place. We got a two-bedroom in Brooklyn, in this really cute neighborhood that I really like a lot. And it's been really, really good. Moving in December is definitely a weird time to move. I've been on like a summer lease since I first started like leasing places when I was like a junior in college, and it is so nice to get out of a summer lease. And moving in December, I've really liked it. The weather's been really good. It's been like 40 and sunny every day, which is really nice for December. And it kind of gives me an excuse to like be a little bit of a hermit, which I have been. I've been so antisocial. Jack and I really haven't done anything. I haven't texted like any people that I know that live in New York because moving, as we've discussed, is like a full psychological overhaul. Like it takes me a really long time to get settled somewhere mentally, physically, emotionally. So I haven't even like let anyone know that I'm here yet. And I've been working. I have not taken 1 ounce of PTO to move because I used all my PTO on you know what, which I don't think I'm allowed to talk about, even though I already posted about it. So we'll just call it the NDA. I used all my PTO on my NDA. So when we were moving to New York, I knew that I didn't have any PTO left. So we moved in December and we moved in on a Saturday. So we split the drive. We drove half of it Friday, December 1st, like after work at like 2. So I cut out a little early. Sorry. We spent the night in Du Bois, Pennsylvania, a lovely little Fairfield Inn. Shout out to my NDA people. You guys know about the Fairfield. I probably wasn't even allowed to say that. So then we woke up Saturday and we drove to New York. So we initially planned on doing like a U-Haul cargo van because we didn't have much. And when I moved out of my place with Zoe in July, I sold like pretty much everything. I was Facebook marketplacing up a storm, which is a full-time job dealing with all these clowns. Like, is it available? Like, falling through, just like bargaining with me. So annoying. So I sold pretty much everything except like, I mean, I did like every time I move, I get rid of clothes, but then it's never enough because I just have way too many clothes. So I sold like furniture, couch, coffee table, dresser, mirror, like everything. I held on to a few items that like I love and couldn't part with, and then like memorabilia. But all of my like tchotchkes, knickknacks, paddywhacks, they're gone. Facebook Marketplace, shout out. So we didn't have a ton. And so we were just gonna get a cargo van, and then we ended up like, I don't know, some like admin stuff. We ended up having to get like a 10-foot U-Haul, which is like the smallest one. So we drove that. Jack packed it like a pro. I didn't even like help pack the U-Haul because I had to freaking work. So we drove that into New York. Oh my God. It was really scary driving in here, and I wasn't even driving. Like, so we drove like around Manhattan. So like we were in Jersey, and then we drove up through like the Bronx and like all of that kind of like surrounding Manhattan area. All these bridges. It was like white knuckling, like stressful as fuck. Um, but we got to our apartment like really without a hitch. We were able to like park the U-Haul on the side of the street, and we unloaded just the two of us. I did have my one friend and her boyfriend come. Shout out to Sydney and John, thank you, to help us with the couch. But we did all of it ourselves. We didn't hire movers or anything. Like we really didn't bring that much. Um, so we got here December 2nd, no electricity. Totally fine. Like I was preparing for the worst with like what we would walk into with moving. We didn't have electricity for the entire first night. No biggie. I just don't know what it is about like every city and their like electricity company, like Detroit, DTE, awful. New York's, it's called Con Edison. Um, Terrible, but we ended up getting it the next morning. So we moved in, and I've had to work. I know I keep mentioning that, but like it's truly egregious. And not, I didn't just like have to work, okay? I had to like boots on the ground carrying the automotive industry on my back level work. The busiest that I've ever been at work was the 2 weeks before I moved and the week after I moved. Like that 3 week period has was the absolute most insane time of my life at work, and I was doing it all like remote pretty much, and like not at home, like not really in the office either, and like all while trying to move and doing a bunch of other like admin shit. Um so I'm gonna like go back and explain like how we got to New York, but I just want to like finish this thought. So I haven't done anything besides like work and unpack boxes basically. So we wake up, like I had to work. I can't shut the fuck up. I'm so annoying. But I had to work like that Monday after we moved, like the first day that we got here. Like had to make sure like my desk was ready because I had two press conferences that I had to lead in 1 week, which is really scary. So I had to make sure like Wi-Fi was booming and like that my work from home setup looked good. And it gets dark here at like 4:30. So I'd wake up, work. I couldn't even get a lunch walk in. I was so busy. And you know that I love my lunch walks. I couldn't even go walk around. So I'd stay in the apartment and finish work. And then when work was done, it was dark. And I'm not ready to walk alone in the dark yet. Like, that's so scary. So I would just stay here with Jack, and we would like unpack or break down boxes. So that was about like the first 2 weeks I was here, wasn't doing anything. And then work finally slowed down a little bit this week, and it's gotten a lot better. So now I'm kind of coming out of my shell, right? As like everyone's going home for the holidays. Like, I'm not even bothering really reaching out to people yet because I'm just kind of giving myself time to like get settled and do all of that. So I honestly really recommend moving in December. I've really enjoyed it. The weather has been fine, and it's kind of nice to have like no pressure to do anything. Like if I moved in the beginning of summer or like during summer, it would be really stressful trying to like work and move and get acclimated. But then there's like all these fun things going on. So by the time I get settled, like emotionally and physically, and the apartment gets to like a place that I like it, then it'll be spring because it takes me a long time to do all that. Okay, so moving backwards. So how New York? Why New York? So this is so crazy. When I moved to Detroit in July of 2021, I was there for like a month and I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. I started like getting inklings of wanting to move to New York. I think honestly, because of TikTok. I hate to say that. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And just, I don't know, it just seemed like fun and, whatever. I kind of like put it out of my mind, but that's kind of when the seed was planted. And that's when a lot of people that I knew started moving to Detroit. So I was like 24 at the time, or that's when people I knew started moving to New York. So I was like 24 at the time, and I felt like I just kept seeing like people I know moving to New York, and I was like, damn, that looks cool. But I, kept it out of my mind. And then the following summer, in 2022, a big chunk of our friend group moved to Chicago. And that was a huge loss. So we had a really good group of friends going in Detroit, and then three of them moved to Chicago, which sucked. And then that was when Zoe and I also moved. Me, Zoe, and Jack like moved more downtown. Jack got his studio, and then Zoe and I got that house, my favorite house I've ever lived in my entire life, the one where the landlord passed away. Because we were like craving a little more of city life. And then I took my famous trip to LA, the one that spawned Literally Heinous. And that was when I realized I was like, I cannot live in Detroit. I can't live in the Midwest. Like, I'm approaching 25 at that point. I was like, I've got to either do New York or LA. Like, and I felt like when after our friends moved to Chicago, Zoe and I were kind of like grasping at like people to hang out with and like stuff to do. And I do love Detroit. It'll always have a special place in my heart. Like, I don't really have a lot of negative things to say about it, but you really have to like make your own fun, and you really have to be on the offense of like looking for stuff to do, finding plans. And Jack is amazing at that. Like, he is a master of like Google Maps and like Instagram parties and like finding DJs and like underground places. Like, a lot of the Detroit party scene is like underground and like not what you see like with the first thing you look up on Google Maps. Like, a lot of the coolest places in Detroit are like hole in the wall looking places. So it took a minute to like figure out like the Detroit scene. And I was like, where are all the cool people at? Like, where are the hot bitches? It took a minute to find that. And then like when half our friend group moved to Chicago, it was just a huge blow. And then I took the trip to LA, and that was kind of when I realized I was like, I kind of want this to be my last year in Detroit, or last year and a half in Detroit. So I pitched that to Jack, I think in the like late summer, early fall of last year. It was like right when Literally Heinous was being born. There was kind of like a new renaissance in my life. And I told Jack, I was like, I want this to be our last year in Detroit. And then Zoe, her grad school program allegedly will be done this spring. So it's like she would only have one more year, and it just felt like a natural, pause to end Detroit in like, end of 2023. So Jack and I settled on New York because LA is really far. I still love LA. I still like kind of wish I were in LA, but I do really hate driving. So I was fine with New York. So Jack and I, when we like made that decision, I think it was like in March was when we kind of like solidified it, and we were like, okay, this is going to be a thing. That was when I told my boss. So my boss and we have a really good like open dialogue, and I don't even remember what I said. It wasn't like formal at all. Like, we were kind of just like talking, and I think I just like mentioned it offhandedly. I was like, I don't really want to be in Detroit. I love my job, but I just don't want to be here. I kind of want to live in New York. And then my boss and VP, they totally get it. Like, they understood. They don't have that like typical Midwestern mentality. And they were cool with it, and they were just like, okay, like let us know when you want to do it. And we were like, okay. So then Jack and I kind of decided on like a November move, because Zoe and I's lease was up in July. His lease was up in July. So we were like, let's extend our leases for 6 months, and then Jack and I will move in November. In May, my landlord died. So sad. And his wife told us that we needed to be out at the end of July. So then that was kind of stressful. So Jack and I, that was like a crazy time, because I felt like homeless for a second, which like I knew I would never actually be homeless, but I didn't think that Jack and I could share his studio. Like, my initial thought was, I can't live with Jack. There's no way, like, we can't share the studio. Like, I won't do it. So then I was kind of thinking about like maybe I'll go to New York in August. And so then I started telling everyone I was moving to New York in August. So then that like became a whole thing. And then this is what led to like this saga of me like continually pushing back this move date. So I told everyone I was moving in August and gonna like find a sublease. And then that didn't happen. So then I told everyone I was moving in September, and I was like, Jack and I are moving in September, and we are gonna go find a sublease, and then we're gonna find an apartment and like Airbnb for like a few weeks until we find our apartment. That was my mentality. So my mentality at the time, I don't know who told me this or how I got this in my head, was that you need to live in New York in order to get a lease. That's what I thought. I was like, we can't sign a lease remotely. Like you can't, and I don't advise that to like only look at pictures and sign a lease. I was like, we've got to see the apartments in person, and no landlord will sign a lease to us if we're not physically in New York. So I thought that the best thing to do was to go to New York and Airbnb temporarily or sublease temporarily, because, you know, people like sublease their rooms to like go to Walmart. And we would like live there temporarily, find a lease, and then move in, like go back to Michigan, get our stuff, and then go back. So that's what I thought. Thought we were going to do that in September. But then my NDA happened, and I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm going to have to push back the move. And then I got back from the NDA, and then it was October, and then Jack and I were just like, fuck it, let's just ride out this lease. Like sharing the studio wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And we honestly got in a nice little groove. Like we would rotate days. We went into the office so that we weren't like both working from home together like multiple days in a row. So we just decided to stick with a December move. Like we were like, let's just find a December 1st lease. So I come back from the NDA, and Jack and I make the decision to, instead of like temporary sublease or Airbnb, because work was getting crazy for me then too. I was like, I don't want to like, you know, I want to maximize my time in Michigan. I want to be here for as long as possible with my job because I'm about to go remote. So Jack and I decide in late October, it was like October 25th to the 31st, that we would visit New York for like a 4-day extravaganza of apartment tours. My friend Elsa let us stay in her apartment, which was very nice of her. So we flew in on a Tuesday night. The best weather. Like it was some kind of omen. So we were in New York in like late October, you know, it could go either way. Whatever 5-day stretch we went was the most beautiful, sunny and 70-degree weather that I've ever seen in my life. And New York had this like crazy period where it rained every weekend for 7 weekends in a row because of like there was like a traffic jam and like weather because of Canada. I'm not a meteorologist, but that's what I heard. And when we went was the first time that it was like sunny on a weekend in 7 weeks, and which is also the same thing that happened when we were in LA in April. It had rained like every day for like 2 months or something crazy like that, which never happens in LA. And then when me and Jack went, it was sunny the whole time. So I don't know. So we went in October, like we flew in on a Tuesday night. Wednesday, I set up 7 tours for Jack. So Jack went on 7 tours in one day. We were primarily looking at like 3 neighborhoods in Brooklyn. And I was certain that I wanted to live in Brooklyn because I like a quieter neighborhood. I love a city vibe, but I don't really like hustle and bustle. Like if I don't know. So when I was staying at like Elsa's apartment on the Lower East Side, I just felt like every time I walked out of her apartment, it was like I couldn't breathe. And I was always just like kind of bracing for impact. And it just felt so intense. And like the energy was so palpable. And Jack and I have a lot of friends in Brooklyn. The majority of our friends that live in New York live in Brooklyn. And I just had this vision. And I've heard people say this, that like, you know, first year in New York, you want to do Manhattan, you want to go all out. We have friends that did that, you know, they did their first year in the East Village or the West Village and spent a lot of money on their apartment. And then after that first year, like moved to Brooklyn. And I don't like doing stuff just to say you did it. I just like, I hate that notion. I hate like I don't know. I just think it's a very limiting mindset. And I just figured like Jack and I, it wasn't really even a thought that we would live in Manhattan. Like it kind of just never really occurred to me because I just knew I never really wanted to. I always like saw myself more in Brooklyn. Um, and I didn't want to like live somewhere, and space was really important to us. So I really wanted a two bedroom so I could podcast. And we didn't know what job that Jack would have. I didn't know if he would be I knew I would be working from home 5 days a week, but he was not able to go remote with his job. So on top of all of this, like finding an apartment, I forgot to even mention this. Jack was also job hunting, which was stressful. So by the time that we had visited New York, like October 25th, Jack did have a job offer from one company that would have him be remote. So we went into apartment hunting thinking Jack and I will both be working remote 5 days a week. So that's when I was like, I need a two bedroom. We absolutely need a two bedroom. And I just didn't want to like, I was like, I'm not going to like get a tiny one bedroom in Manhattan and like spend all our money on that and like not have enough money to do the things that we wanted to move to New York for. So that's why we wanted to live in Brooklyn. But while we were touring like that October 25th, Jack had that one job offer, but he was also interviewing for another job. And at that point, he'd only had like two interviews with this second company. Um, and that's the one he did get an offer from the second company, and he did take that offer and rejected the first offer from a different company. And I'm excited to share on behalf of Jack that he's working in the Empire State Building, and he got this really awesome job. And it just like everything fell into place like so great for that. Anyways, back to apartment hunting. So the Wednesday that we get here, Jack it tours 7 apartments. I join him for the last 3 of the day. And they were okay. We liked them. I definitely felt like a very big sense of urgency because we really wanted to get a lease because we were here for like 4 days and we had like a return flight home. The thought did occur to us was like, should we just get a one-way flight and like just not leave till we find something? But we just we had a lot of faith and just got like, a 5-day round trip and just like crossed our fingers and like hoped that we would find something. So we didn't find anything like the first day, this first 7 that he looked at. The second day of touring, and while he's touring, I'm like working remote and setting up tours for him for the next day. So he was doing like front of house touring, sending me videos, and then I was doing back of house, setting up tours for him for the next day. So on the second day, he tours, I think 3 or 4, and that's when he found the one that we live in now. So he toured it, called me immediately. He was like, I love this one. I looked at the pictures and I really liked it too. It was within our budget. So we applied that night. And we found this one was on Nooklin. So the two main like apartment hunting websites for New York, from what I gathered, are Street Easy and Nooklin. So we were looking at both, and we found this one on Nooklin. So I was like, we toured it, and then I was emailing with the guy. He was a broker. Like a lot of apartment complexes or like apartment buildings will have brokers show the apartments, which is why sometimes there's a broker's fee. And everyone always warned me about that. Like that was the big thing. Like everything that I saw online, anytime that I talked to anyone, they were like, watch out for brokers' fees because it's like stupid how they do it. Like apartments will hire brokers to show the apartments and to list the apartments, but then still make the tenant pay the broker's fee when the landlord should be the one paying the broker. I don't know. But I didn't really run into that like at all. So I initially, okay. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Because it's all like interconnected. So before we visited New York, I was like, maybe I don't know why the fuck I thought this. Like looking back, it was so stupid. But like a few weeks before, I was like, maybe we should go through a broker and we should find someone and tell them what we want and then they can show us places. I think I did that because it's really hard for me like not to be proactive and like apartment hunting. You can only be like so proactive because we were trying to find a December 1st lease and we were touring like, or not even December 1st, but we we were open to like a November 1st lease. Like ideally we wanted like December 1st so that we wouldn't feel like rushed to move in and that so Jack wasn't like double paying rent. So I found this broker online and we were like talking a little bit and she showed us one place, I think like the first day that we toured, and it honestly was incredible, but the broker's fee was like $5,000 on top of first month's rent and the security deposit that was the price of rent. And I thought that was so insane. And that was when we canceled the broker. We were like, okay, whatever. Because I didn't realize how easy it would be to get apartment tours. Like you just go on Street Easy or Nooklin or even Zillow and you can just like click a box and fill out like your name number and it'll autofill for you after like the second apartment that you look up. It was like really easy getting tours. I thought that like it would be hard to like hear back from them. But once I realized how responsive people were to like show you buildings, I realized that we didn't need a broker at all. So on the second day, when Jack found the place that we live in now, we applied that night, and applying was really scary because we had to like submit the deposit for like to lock the place, basically to make sure that we're first in line to get it. And we were the first people to get it. But the deposit is like a month's worth of rent. And you hear so many horror stories about, people getting scammed. And we were doing it through Nooklin, which is a reputable site. Like there were no red flags. But anyone that works in like landlords and real estate, no offense to my dad, but like it's just they just have this weird energy about them. So the guy I was talking to for this place, I can't remember his name, but I swear it was Mike Wazowski. It was like same letter configuration. So I'm like emailing with Mike Wazowski and he's just being so fucking weird. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And I had to like wire the money. And oh my God, I don't know. So we put the money in and then Thursday rolls around. Jack has a few more tours and it was Friday at this point. Jack has a few more tours and we already like put this deposit down. Still don't know if we got approved, but then later that night we found out that we were approved, which was so exciting. But it was still like this air of like unofficialness because we didn't have the lease. So Mike Wazowski, I was like, okay, like where's the lease? Can we sign it? Like we're ready to like, make it a fish. And he's like, oh, the apartment still, and I don't know who the fuck owns this apartment. Still have no idea. This is my first time. I've never lived in an apartment before. Like never. I've only ever lived in houses. I don't know who owns this. I don't know who the landlord is. I don't know what the company is. Like we looked it up and like obviously, some crazy dead end website. And I don't know. I think that's part of the charm of New York real estate is like what I'm gathering. I think this is really normal is that like everything just feels like a little bit sketchy. I do have concerns about when we have our first like inevitable maintenance issue. I don't know what to do. So hopefully that works out. But Mike Wazowski basically said that they wouldn't send the lease until like after they review our application. And obviously they only work for 30 minutes every other day. So we didn't know when we'd get it, but we carried on with the weekend, just like enjoying life. And we were like, let's just pretend like we got it. So we were celebrating and it was really nice, like going into the weekend, because then we had the whole weekend in New York to like relax because we got an apartment. And we had an amazing time. Like we had such a good time that weekend in New York. It was Halloween weekend and it was just really reinforcing why we moved. The city, I feel so like cheesy. But like the energy in the city like was really palpable and it was so nice like walking places. Even on like Tuesday night, Wednesday night when we were just like walking around, like people were out and like that's not what it was like in Detroit at all. Detroit is just like dead all the time. Like I said, you have to like find ways to make your own fun. And like Saturday night, Jack and I went out to dinner somewhere, like just the two of us. And I was like down bad afterwards. I was so tired and like didn't want to do anything. And we walked like 30 minutes back to Elsa's from dinner and seeing everyone in their Halloween costumes. Like the city was so alive and energetic. By the time I came home, I was like, all right, let's go. Like, let's go out, which I was like at a 0 before. And then I was at a 100, just like seeing people. And it was very, I don't know, it just like made me feel really good about our decision. So we come home from the trip, and then we did get our lease Monday. So that ends the chapter of Mike Wazowski. Like, I no longer needed him anymore because now we have to go through our management company, whoever that is. So we look over the lease, sign the lease, everything's fine. And they say they want us to move in December, which we were like, that's honestly perfect for us. So then the next month, so the whole month of November was really just plagued with like so much, I hate this word, adulting. Like I had to renew my passport because it expires in May, and I didn't know, like, I was like, that's just something I want to get done like in Michigan. And talk about some serious adulting. Like, this is just a side note. If you have to renew your passport, you have to do it by mail. There's so much room for error. So you have to fill out this form online, passport renewal form, fill it out, print it, go to CVS, take a passport picture, get the passport picture taken, they print it, you pay for it, and then you have to staple your passport picture to a tiny little 2-inch by 2-inch square on the form that you printed out. And the staples have to be like in the perfect spot so that it doesn't cover up your face or your hair. And then you have to write a check to the Department of State or whatever for $130 and put all of that in an envelope and then mail it to the Department of State and just hope that it doesn't get lost. Like, that's so much room for error. So I had to do that, which obviously was like climbing Mount Everest. And then you're going to freak out. I had to sell my car. So Buick Elizabeth has been in my life for 4.5 years. I got her when I was interning at GM this summer before my senior year of college. I loved that car. If you ever need a new car, Buick Encore is incredible. And I wasn't going to bring her to New York. And I just like, I didn't need her. So I had to sell my car, which was a whole other like slew of like admin work. I went on Kelley Blue Book. Okay, here's some advice if you have to sell a car. I went on Kelley Blue Book and like typed in her like stats, and then they like gave me a quote, and then immediately 100,000 dealers started calling me. It was like some sort of bat signal. So a bunch of dealers start calling me. So I go to one, and then this like old man, he like does a walk around, and he's like, I said, okay, I wanted $20,000 for Buick Elizabeth. And I paid, so I leased her, and then I bought out, and then the lease ended last year, and then I paid $15,000 for her. And so I wanted $20,000. I was like, this will be good. All the Kelley Blue Books were telling me like 14, 15. And I was like, okay, I guess if I can get up to 15, that'll be good. So I go to the dealer man, and he quotes me at 13. I was like, what the? So I left, whatever. And then at this point, Jack's lease ended November 20th. So we were like kind of homeless for like 10 days. So we stayed at his dad's, which was like out in the boonies. So we're out at his dad's, no cell reception. Just kidding, there is, but it like feels like it's very remote. And then I got to a point where we were a week away from moving. I still had my car, and I kind of just needed to get rid of it at that point. Like, it just wasn't, I knew that I could do like Facebook Marketplace and like see if I could get $20,000 for it. But that, I can't, you know how I feel about Facebook Marketplace. Like, I was already Facebook Marketplacing up a storm all summer. I can't imagine like having to sell a car and like transfer a title and then coming over to view it, whatever. So I did Carvana. And this episode is sponsored by Carvana. No, it's not. I don't have any sponsors, but oh my God, Carvana is incredible, life-changing. Shout out to Carvana. I entered in her stats online, and then they gave me a quote like $15,500. And then I dropped it off to the Carvana store, and they gave me exactly what they said they would. I didn't have to clean it, detail it. I didn't even fill up the gas tank. I gave it to them on empty. And then that was the end of Buick Elizabeth. So once I sold the car, that was when I was like, holy shit, like we're doing it, like we're moving. Like Jack got the job offer, we got the apartment, car is gone, we're done. And that was when it felt really real. Okay. So That's the story of how we got here. Moving in was honestly kind of terrifying. And also, I will say, I should have mentioned this earlier, but our rent is $3,100. So do with that information what you will. I appreciate financial transparency, and I think that it's important, especially like when you're young, to not compare yourself, but like to know other people's situations so that you can like do better for yourself. So yeah, ours is 3,100, no utilities or anything included. Our first gas bill was horrifying. So I don't even know why, but I don't know. So we're still kind of like ironing out the kinks, but yeah, that's that. And we're in Brooklyn in a cute little neighborhood. Um, Moving in was really scary. We came in and everything just like looked really small and I was panicking and like the bedroom looked tiny. Like, so we have a two bedroom, one is bigger than the other, and then one is obviously the small one. And when I walked in and saw the bedroom, I was like, oh, that's going to be such a cute office. It's a perfect size for an office. And then I go to the other bedroom and realize, oh, this is the office. The other one's the bedroom. Got it. I was panicking and like a little stressed, and like the lights obviously weren't turning on, and the place felt small and it was dark. And I was like, I don't think we can do it. But things just got like drastically better once we started moving our stuff in and like filling it in. And I can truly say that like I love the place. I love the layout. It's railroad style, which is a style of New York City apartments. And it means that, and I think it's a railroad style, but like railroad style is basically like really long apartments where like every room consecutively leads into the next room. Like it doesn't like branch out at all. So our apartment's very long. We live in a building that has um three floors, but like there's apartments on the ground floor. So there's only two apartments on either side, a left side and a right side. And we're on the second floor. So we only have to go up one set of stairs, which is really nice. I was really nervous about having to walk up because I feel like every time I would visit my friends in New York, they're on like a 90-foot or like a 90 floor walk up. And it was awful. And I was really nervous about that, especially with moving in. But we are just on the second floor. Um, the buildings around here are like pretty small. Most of them look like they're only 3 stories. But yeah, it's been good. Packages don't get stolen. That's another thing that I was worried about. But I don't know how all the delivery guys know our code, but they just like packages get put inside. Moving to New York, I was really nervous about like the price of things. And that was a really big reason why I just thought that like I couldn't move to New York. I was like, I just can't. There's no way I could do it, whatever. I think that with like social media, and I was like this too, like think of New York and you think of like Manhattan and the East Village and Lower East Side and Greenwich and like West Village and Gramercy. And there's like, jokes online about how expensive things are. And like you see all the viral TikToks, like 1 square foot bedroom for like $3,000. So I was really nervous about that. And like every time we went to New York, which was only once, like before the trip, or it was twice. Jack and I went in April of 2022, just like for a vacation. And then I went in May for Taylor Swift. You guys remember how that went. Um, and both times, like you just end up spending so much money when you're here. Jack accidentally ordered a $55 espresso martini. When I was out with Elsa the night before Taylor Swift, I ordered 2 vodka sodas at a bar and it was $50. And I had so many like experiences like that just like reinforce what you see online. And I was like really nervous about how expensive things would be because I like to enjoy life. I was like, I don't want to like move somewhere and then not be able to like afford to do what I wanted to move for, which is like, go out to bars and go to shows and like get drinks when you're out and just like enjoy things. But I have been very pleasantly surprised with like how affordable things are. And I think some of it, I mean, I honestly haven't really left my neighborhood, but like my neighborhood in Brooklyn has been like very comparable to Detroit. And we've been venturing out to Williamsburg a lot. So Williamsburg is like the closest neighborhood to Manhattan from Brooklyn. If you're, I don't know. Also, like, if you're like a New Yorker or you've lived there, don't come for me because I'm doing my best. Like, I'm learning like what I can. Like, so also don't like take advice from me because I can only share my experiences and like what I've noticed. And like, I'm sure a year from now I'll listen to this episode and want to delete it because I'm gonna like think so differently or be like, I can't believe I thought that. But in my experience, Williamsburg is we will go to Williamsburg, and even there, like the prices are really good. Like we found this place, or Jack found it, but free pizza with drinks. So you can order like beers at the bar for really cheap, like $5 beers, or like they can, beers range in prices, but like the cheapest beer was like $5, or like a $7 beer and a shot, which is me and Jack's like favorite combo. Like cheap beer is extremely important to me and Jack. Like if we're out at a bar and the cheapest beer is like $8, I forget it. And that's what I was worried about in New York because I'm like, how are we going to be taking drinks to Pound Town if every beer is like $8 and like cocktails are like 20? So there's one place we went to like 2 weeks ago, and they had free pizza. So you'd get for every beer that you ordered, you would get like one drink ticket and you would get like a small personal pizza. And they like were not bad. Like it was totally fine. So like free pizza at a bar with like also cheap beer. Another place that we went to a few days ago had happy hour until 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays, which you never see. I've never seen a happy hour go past 7. Like even when a happy hour goes till 7, I'm like, that's sick. Till 8 p.m., including Fridays, is insane. A lot of like the places near us have been really affordable too. There's amazing local shops and like local grocery stores. There's this cute fruit stand that I've been to like almost every day, and they have 4 avocados for $5. And they're like perfect ripeness too. That was like my whole thing in Michigan. I don't know what it was, but I could never find ripe avocados in Michigan. Like, oh my God, no matter where I went, and I scoured. Detroit is also a food desert. Like horrible grocery situation, like literally food desert. So the closest grocery store to me, avocados would be ripe in 32 years. Then Zoe and I would drive out to this area called Grosse Pointe to go to their Trader Joe's, and it was like 25 minutes just to get there. They never had ripe avocados. Anyways, it was hard because I love avocado toast. So I'd have to like plan ahead of time. Like, okay, if I buy like 2 avocados now, like I can eat them in like 4 or 5 days, and then like try to time it so that like my bread doesn't go bad. Anyways, this fruit stand near me has amazing avocado deals and like varying levels of ripeness. So I can like get one to have that day, get one for like in 3 days. It's incredible. Cheap fruit, like raspberries and blueberries, like a whole little basket, or the like plastic cartridge, I don't know, for like $2, and fruit's really expensive. I don't know, just overall like things have been really like it hasn't been nearly as bad as I thought that it would be. And we have not even like been to Manhattan really. I went shopping with my mom when she was here last weekend. We went to Manhattan, and then Jack and I went to Soho last night just to like meet up after work. And I just like so far I've had a few just like kind of surreal moments where I'm like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe I'm doing this." So like yesterday, Jack, he works at the Empire State Building, flex, literally Tom Hanks. Um and I have just been so restless. Like work is finally calming down for me. I'm like, I have to like get out of here. So after work yesterday, we met at a subway station in Soho because it was like, direct for him, direct for me. And we just like met there, and seeing Jack in his little like work outfit, and like we're meeting like at the corner of like Houston. I was just like, this is so crazy. We just like shopped around, went into a couple different stores, and got happy hour at this like oyster bar in Soho. The happy hour deal wine was $10. So not like, insanely good, but not terrible. And that happy hour was till 7. Um, so yeah, I've had a few like really surreal moments like that. I haven't really been able to fully like enjoy myself or like have fun. I've just been like really, really on edge for like since I've moved here. I'm finally starting to feel like I can catch my breath. Um, so yeah, my mom came. So, okay, let's talk furnishing. Okay. So I sold and got rid of like most of my decor. But all the like home goodsy tchotchke stuff. I do have a few pieces that like I love that were like from family that I'm keeping. So we have pretty much no decor here, no furnishings, nothing like that. I thought before I moved here that I would be Facebook marketplacing up a storm. But Facebook Marketplace is really hard when you don't have a car. And I'm so perplexed by everyone because like you see on like TikTok and whatever, people are like, I found this whatever on Facebook Marketplace in New York. And I'm like, but how do you get it here? And then I've seen videos of like guys like riding with like a couch on a bird scooter, like two bird scooters like riding parallel and then like the couch, which is like funny. But I have found that Facebook Marketplace is not easy here. So I'll give you two case studies. So the one thing that we got off Facebook Marketplace that was a success was a microwave. Jack picked it up and was able to carry it. Then I we needed a dresser. We didn't have a dresser. We were fully just like had our clothes like lined on the floor or like living out of suitcases. And that was like the first thing I needed that dresser just to feel, I don't know, like just like something was in order. So I get this dresser off Facebook Marketplace from this chick. I won't say her name, but from the beginning, it was like hard. Like it was just a lot of communication back and forth. She said that she was selling it for like 120 and I was like, okay, this is fine. It was like long, whatever. And then she said that she could provide shipping because she was like already moving. So she like had a mover she was working with for a few days. So she could have her mover drop it off for like an extra $80. What the fuck was I thinking? What was I thinking? I was desperate. I was like really desperate. I needed a dresser. So we were talking, this is like a Thursday, like the first week we were there, and she was like, my mover can't move it until Monday. And I should have just like stopped then because then I had to deal with her crazy ass fucking mover. And anyways, the guy comes with the dresser, and just from the beginning, like it was so convoluted and like he's like you can't find parking, so and I don't know, it was just really hard, and the dresser was really heavy, and like Jack and the mover brought it up, and like the minute they like set the dresser down, I was like, this isn't gonna work. Like it was so short. I didn't even like it. I could barely get in my clothes in it, like only like one layer of clothes. I couldn't even like stack on top of each other. And I just hated it like from the beginning. So then I've been like Facebook marketplacing like a decent bit, but like it's hard. It's like you have to like really love something enough to like find shipping. And there are ways to do it here. So like there's TaskRabbit. You can like hire someone to go pick something up and bring it to you. And then there's this other app called Dolly. So like there's ways to do it, but like do you love it enough to like pay, an extra sometimes like $50 to $100 or $50 to $150? And then it's like, okay, if you're shopping on Facebook Marketplace to get deals, how much of a deal are you really getting? And then on top of like dealing with a stranger on the internet to like buy their stuff and work around their schedule, you also have to work through like a mover and an app. And it's just a whole beast that like I thought would be good. And I just haven't, like, I just can't justify it at all. And trust me, I'm on Facebook Marketplace like it's my job. And yeah, I don't know. It's like you have to love it that much, or you have to like change your location settings like down to 1 mile, and hope that like there's something that you love in your exact area. So that's been hard. So my mom came this weekend on Friday, this past weekend. Friday we went to Manhattan to go like look at like cute home decor stores. Did not get one single thing. Groundbreaking newsflash, furniture is so expensive. We didn't even get anything at all. But Saturday, we went to this area called Industry City. And Industry City is in like South Brooklyn, this area called like Sunset Park. But basically, Industry City is like a bunch of big stores, like outlet stores, a Costco. It honestly kind of reminded me of like Ponce City Market if it weren't like boutiquey and had bigger stores, or like Atlantic Station, just like heavy pedestrian foot traffic, like outlet stores. So we went to a West Elm outlet. I was gagged. And the West Elm outlet was incredible. Like it was so crazy. And oh my God, I just feel like I keep messing things up. Like I feel like I've been messing everything up all the time. Like I messed up the dresser. Like I keep, and like I shopping on Friday, like I felt so stupid. I'm like, obviously like home decor stores are gonna be expensive in Manhattan. Like one thing I really need is throw pillows, and every throw pillow was like $120, and I just felt so stupid. And I just feel like I keep messing things up, and I just like can't do anything right. But there's one thing I did right. It was the West Elm outlet. I read on Google reviews that you should get there right when it opened, so we did that, and thank God I did. Basically, how this outlet store works is it's all furniture that was like pre-owned or like returned. Like some of it is a little damaged, but the discounts were insane. So everything has a sticker on it. And like if it had a 0.00 at the end of the price, it was 40% off. If it had a 0.99 at the end of the price, that was final sale. And everything had like a sticker with the price on it. And if you like something, you take this sticker off the item and you like carry it around with you. And that's how the sales associates, like that's how you like claim on something. So thank God we got there when we did, because we got like first dibs on everything. We got this gorgeous, 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 gorgeous tall dresser. Not to replace the heinous one that I got, but we got this like gorgeous dresser. It's the Gemini, for $500, and it retails, I think, for like at least $1,000. And then we got this beautiful like 3-arch like gold mirror. We got that for like $200 or $300, and that retails for like $500. And then we got a really pretty like white kind of ceramic lamp. Lamps so expensive, by the way. Like I was not able to find a lamp for under $100, but that one we got, I think, I can't remember, but like maybe it was $120 what we got that for. So we get the stuff at West Elm, and they hold it for you for 24 hours. So they told us about this app called Dolly. And this podcast is sponsored by Dolly. So Jack like downloads Dolly, and basically you just say like where you want furniture to be picked up and where you want it to be delivered to, and you give them a window. And that was like $100, which I didn't think was that bad. So then later in the day, like 2 guys came, and they like the West Elm people had our stuff like with my name on it. And then the 2 guys came and like picked it up and loaded it into the truck and then dropped it off here all in the same day. But after West Elm, we went to the Ashley Furniture outlet, and that was great. Got a bunch of stuff there that was all like really discounted too. And you could like bargain there, which was kind of crazy. So we were able to negotiate some of the prices. And that was when I got a dresser to replace that god-awful Facebook Marketplace one. We got some throw pillows, some other lamps, all at like amazing prices at Ashley Furniture. I am doing so much free promotion, so whatever. Ashley Furniture has their own delivery service, so they deliver everything to you, and they're delivering it tomorrow, and I'm so excited. So then that was how we got like the bulk of our big furniture. And now I'm excited to say that we're finally in the decorating phase, where we're in like the creative space, where we can like actually start filling in the holes and like filling in the blank spaces and like making it a little homey. Unfortunately, I did not want to do this, and I'm humiliated to even be saying this, I've been using Wayfair a little bit. I am pretty anti-Wayfair because I think it's like the Shein, but for furniture. So this daybed that we got, that I'm sitting on right now, for the office, we knew that we wanted a daybed with a trundle, because having space for visitors is very important for us. Jack and I love to host. We love to entertain. Like we want people to come visit us. And I wanted like a cute little podcasting space. So we got this daybed with a trundle on Wayfair, and it's incredible. 10 out of 10. Coffee table, Wayfair. Media console, Wayfair. Guys, like it's so bad. But okay, I did do some research into Wayfair, because I'm like, what is their business model? And why is it that I can Google, like Anthropologie desk, and all of the Google search results are Wayfair. Like I said, Anthropologie. Like if you're going to show me ads, why wouldn't you show me the brand that I looked up in my search? But Wayfair has over, another advertisement, has over 18 million items, and they're a drop shipper. So they don't make their own stuff. Like they work with like other brands, and it's brands that I recognize from like my other online shopping, like Safa VA. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's a brand that I've seen a lot. That's where we got our rug from. Well, we got our rug from Bed Bath and Beyond, but the brand of the rug is called Safa VA. I don't know. So yeah, maybe Wayfair's not as like heinous as I thought it would be. Maybe it's not like the Shein of clothing, but they have like multiple suppliers and sellers, and they're a drop shipper, which means that they're like online only, and they don't like have physical inventory. Like they're basically just the like customer facing website, and then when they get an order, the like brand that the customer orders from, they do the shipping. I don't know. That's Wayfair. So that's like kind of how I've been justifying it. But I'm still like trying not to use Wayfair because I also really like having unique pieces and like, I don't know, things that like have a story behind them. I love like acquiring furniture or like acquiring decoration through like family or friends or Facebook, or like a real find or like a really fun day shopping. I love to like look at things, like remember the day that I got them. But hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like I gotta furnish the place. So I think just among the other things that have surprised me, is this subway. Okay, so the subway's been great. I've only taken it by myself once, but like really it hasn't been bad at all. I thought before moving to New York, I just thought that like everything was on subway lines. Like subways are everywhere. And I think that's more true in Manhattan, but also like the subway is not just like the subway, like there's so many different lines. So like you really want to be like on a good line, like where you think that you're gonna want to hang out. And then when we were in Brooklyn, I was like, okay, just these three neighborhoods, like anywhere in those three neighborhoods that we were looking, like we'll be fine. When that wasn't necessarily true. Like once I really thought about it, and once Jack was like there and called me, and he was like, okay, I'm at the apartment, but like letting you know, it's a 15-minute walk from one subway line. And then that was when I kind of realized, I was like, oh, like we need to be a little bit more strategic with like what lines we want to be near. So the apartment that we ended up with is like a 10-minute walk from two good subway lines that run like into Manhattan, but like different like parts of it. So we got really lucky with where our apartment is situated, like among the subway lines. And it's definitely like you don't, I mean, I think there was one that Jack toured that was like right next to the subway, but then you hear the subway. And then sometimes like near the subway that like attracts a lot of like people, and that's just like where a lot of foot traffic is. So you kind of want to be like farther from that, but not like too far to where like you can still walk. I don't know. So I haven't taken the subway alone at night. Um, when we went to Soho last night, I did take it alone, and it was like nighttime, but it was like 5 o'clock. So like fake nighttime. But it's been really good. Like it's been super easy. They run so much. Like I also thought that like, we'll Uber or we'll subway to the bars, but like Uber home. And that's like not even true. I thought that the subway lines like kind of like go to sleep after like 10, but subways are like bussin' like all hours. Maybe not after like 1 a.m. or something, but like when Jack and I were here in October, we took the subway home at like 2 a.m. And there were so many people. Like you go into the subway, I literally thought it was like 7 o'clock or like 9 o'clock. There were just so many people like still out, and like it wasn't like sketchy ghost land or like 20 minutes in between trains. Like they're still coming and going. So that's been really surprising. I'm really trying like not to Uber. Like I've kind of made a pact with myself, like no Ubers unless absolutely necessary. I hadn't Ubered at all until my mom came because we needed to like Uber home from Industry City when we like went to the outlet stores. And also riding the trains is so fun. Like when you're like kind of drunk, like drunk rides home from the train, it literally feels like 2 minutes. Like if you have a couple drinks, and it's just so fun. Like we met up with some friends and we got drinks with them one night, and then we all like walked to the subway station together, and like everyone went in their like little directions home, and I was like, this is so cool. Also, a lot of people don't pay for the subway. Like you can hop the turnstiles pretty easily. I always thought before I moved here, and it's because there's one episode of How I Met Your Mother that I saw when I was in like middle school where the main character hops a subway turnstile and like gets tackled to the ground and like arrested. And I've lived my whole life thinking that like that's what happens when you hop the turnstile. Um, and then when I moved here, I saw people were doing it. Like even when the subway guards are right there and like nothing bad happened. And I was like, this is so crazy. Like I thought it was illegal. So I did try it twice, actually. I hopped the turnstile and it's exhilarating. I can't even, like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like, it's so powerful and it feels like you just feel like unstoppable. And I don't know where I fall in the like moral code of that. Like, on the one hand, it should really be free. Like, public transportation should be free. But then on the other hand, like, the money goes towards, I think, like keeping subways clean and safe. So, like, obviously, I want to support that. But I think every once in a while, you can hop the turnstile, like, as a treat. Um, and one time, like the second time I did it, this is when I got too ballsy. I did it like one time because I saw someone do it in front of me and I was like, should I do it? And Jack was like, yeah. And so I did it. And I was like, ah. And then the second time I did it, which was like the next day, right after I hopped it, I made eye contact with the subway security guy. And he just like looked at me and I looked at him and looked away and like nothing bad happened. So I don't think I will continue doing that, but it was nice to try it, just like experience it. But it was kind of awesome. But overall, like the subway's been really good and I'm excited to take it more. And it like actually is really fun. And one thing that I was concerned about is like how you meet up with friends that like live really far away because New York, breaking news, is really big. And like Ubering is not the move. It honestly ever like even if you do like, buck up and get an Uber, it's expensive and the traffic is so bad that it's like you're paying all that money to just like sit in a car. So it's like I don't even know why you would Uber like unless you're like inebriatedly drunk or if it's like late at night or like if it's really really far on the train. I think that like what the move is, like this social move is like if you are to meet up with a friend, this is kind of what I've gathered from like 3 weeks of living here, is that you meet up with friends on a mutual subway line or like near a subway line that like both of you can like easily like transfer to and from. So like the L is my favorite train right now. And the L like gets you into Manhattan, but then sometimes you might have to like switch to like one of the trains that goes up and down. And if like one of my friends lives like on the north side of Manhattan, uptown, um, they wouldn't take the L obviously, but like if we have a train line that's in common, I don't know. I'm like so bad at this kind of stuff. I'm like kind of starting to get better. Jack obviously figured it out in like 2.5 seconds. Um, but yeah, the train has been really good. They come really often. I haven't, knock on wood, like had any like seen anything crazy or like experienced anything, but there's always people on it. And like there truly is safety in numbers, I think, or at least like there's a sense of safety. Um, so like you're never gonna be like alone in New York. Honestly, like one of the hardest parts about moving here was like the backlash that Jack and I got from like members of our family. It was really intense and I never like expected that. So certain like people in our family were giving us a really hard time about like how dangerous it is and like how we're gonna get mugged and how unsafe and dirty and gross and expensive and like we're throwing our money away. So a lot of like us moving here wasn't even just like the act, like the admin work and the physical work of like gearing up to move. It was the like PR tour that we had to go and like telling people. The majority of people, like all our friends were supportive, obviously. Like friends got it. Anyone under the age of like 50 was like understood. And then even like older people that like sorry, like for saying older, I guess, but there were like people, like aunts and uncles that like they understood and like they got it. But yeah, like certain family members were like really not supportive of us. So a lot of this was like a PR tour and having to like justify why we're moving. And that was not fun. And it made me doubt myself. And I'm like, am I crazy? Like, is it really that unsafe? But like being here and being like actually acclimated, I definitely feel safe. Also, everyone's giving us such a hard time, but we literally just moved from downtown Detroit. So I don't know what everyone's like freaking out about. Um, but that was really hard. And people just like couldn't, they were like, couldn't wrap their heads around why we were moving. And I'm like, we just don't have that many friends in Detroit. Like there just wasn't that much to do. And I'm like so tired of like, I feel like every weekend we had to like really dig and like figure out what we were going to do or what like bars were having something, and like texting people was like in very like fragmented friends. So we had friends from like different areas or like different parts of our lives, like Jack's high school friends, Jack's college friends, my college friends, like Zoe's friends, like stuff like that. But it wasn't really like concentrated into like a network. So it was just hard to like get a group of people together to do something. So a lot of times like me and Zoe and Jack would like go out, the three of us, which was really fun. But it's nice being in New York because there's so much going on that it's like you don't even have to try. Like everything's like handed to you. So yeah, I'm excited to like go out a lot more and be more social. Okay, that is the end of this episode. So sorry if this episode was like too much admin, adult, boring stuff, but this is the God's honest truth. And I wanted to like tell the story of how we got here. And like, I was always so confused about how people move to New York. Like, anytime I saw someone move there, I was like, how? Like, literally, how do you do it? I had so many questions. Like, physically, how do you move? So I hope that this is helpful. This is like just my experience. And that like all of this to summarize and to say like it has been wonderful. I've done absolutely nothing besides work and unpack. But I'm having so much fun. And New York is, I know I've only been living here for 3 weeks, but so far, New York has been easy, like honestly easy. That was a big thing that I was worried about. Is like how difficult everything is, or expensive, or inconvenient, or time consuming, or far, or like just hard because like you don't realize how much you rely on your car. Just being able to, get in your car and go to a store, go to multiple stores, run errands, load it back up in your car, and then just walk into your house. You don't have that option here. So like, but it hasn't been that difficult. Like, okay, I have this mirror, this like vintage mirror that my mom gave me that she bought before I was born that I love. And dresser gate. Oh my God, I forgot to even mention the whole end to the dresser story. So basically, you know how I had that like fugly dresser from Facebook Marketplace. When we got home from shopping on Saturday, from like Ashley Furniture, when we'd ordered that dresser, but the dresser would come the next week, are rearranging the bedroom with my mom. We're like moving the bed around. Jack puts one thing. It was literally like a bag with headphones in it on the dresser. The entire dresser collapses. Like the leg folds out against itself, like completely, like all the drawers come out. Like it was out of a movie. It was so crazy. It was like the dresser knew it was being replaced. The moral of that story that I'm like kind of realizing is that like if something seems hard, like it is, like walk away from it. I should have known from the beginning that like I don't know. I'm like torn because sometimes it's like you should work hard to get something that you want, but also like sometimes like things will like tell you if like you can be able to tell. Like I should have known that. I don't know. I just like had this vibe. I didn't like the seller. I didn't like the mover. Everything about buying the dresser was hard. Once I got it, I hated it. Whatever. So when the dresser fell, this like mirror that I have, it's like 2 feet by 1 foot, just kind of like an antique cute mosaic. Well, like the frame is like kind of like mosaic. The glass fell out, but the glass was like janky, like it always had been. This mirror's like, I think it might be 50 years old, and the glass like had black spots on it. Like I've been needing to get the glass replaced in this mirror for years. And then when the dresser fell, like the glass, it like moved something in the mirror and the glass fell out. So I'm like, oh my God, like that's a whole like chore that I need to do is like get glass and a mirror replaced. Like, how am I going to do that in this city? Um, so I found, I just like went on Google Maps, which is my new best friend, by the way. I was on Google Maps and just looked up like glass store, like mirror store, and I found this store like a mile away from me. And I went today and brought the frame of the mirror and like the backing for it. And the guy completely replaced the glass, like all new mirror glass, like cemented it in there for $30. And it only took like an hour and a half. And I just like dropped it off, like walked around, got coffee, and then came back and it was $30. But I had to carry it home. It is humiliating how sore my arms are. Oh my God. Like, I had to carry this mirror home. It's not that heavy. I mean, like, it's heavier, but like kind of heavy. Um, and my arms are so sore. Like, holding the microphone hurts right now, which is humiliating. So things like that have just been like randomly really easy. Like, there's so many pharmacies near me. Like, there's like three within walking distance, like so many like little grocery stores. There's a dollar store like basically right across the street that has anything that you could ever imagine. It's the city is not like it's very convenient. Like I would argue it's more convenient than like living somewhere where you have to rely on a car. I think that maybe my opinion will change once I have to like I don't know, once I'm like living here more and I have like more chores to do. Like I'm stressed about finding a dentist. Like that, finding a new primary care physician. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I did have to like find a new haircut place and the haircut place that I picked is kind of far. So like we'll see how that works out. Um, but I'm very surprised with how like easy everything has been. One more thing is that you can find like just things on the ground or not on the ground, but like on the sidewalk, people like put stuff out. So for this room, LHHQ, literally Heinous headquarters, I needed like a dresser or like a desk or something that I could put the mirror on and like do my makeup because I'm a standing makeup person. And I've been searching high, low, to, fro for this like thing with very specific measurements. Facebook Marketplace, another thing that like fell through is I was gonna get this dresser and I like ordered a TaskRabbit to go pick it up, but then my TaskRabbit like couldn't do it. And then that's when I learned something from the dresser and I was like, you know what, if it seems hard, then it is hard. Like it's not like whatever, I'm just gonna wait. Yesterday, I was on a walk and I see a desk and I like inspect it and it looked like it was good dimensions. Like they didn't look like anything wrong with it. And I just like carried it home. And this is also really embarrassing, but I was like 7 minutes away from home, like 3 minutes into my trek of like carrying it home when I realized it had wheels. So that was kind of embarrassing. I was like carrying it like how you hold like a dog, like with its like four legs like facing out. And then I was like, oh shit, this has wheels. So I was able to like roll it behind me. And it's so cute. Like it's temporary. Like I don't know if I'll keep her or not, but like I just got it for free. Like there's just so many like random little I don't know. It's like the distribution system or I don't know. It's interesting, but overall it has been a great experience. I am excited to go out more and like have more fun stories to share. But yeah, that's how we got here.